youtube.com/MayhewMayhem. That's youtube.com/MayhewMayhem.
Hello and welcome to another episode of 30 Minutes of Mayhem. I am your host, my name is Michael Mayhew, and I am here with my co-hosts.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Greg. We're also joined by the woman who can't even keep her own kid from accidentally cramming a bike up his ass.
Hi, everyone. It's Raven. And with us is the man who hasn't told his mommy yet, but he has a new tattoo on his ass that says Naval Cum Dumpster.
What's up, everybody? I'm Dale.
Greg, by the way, she has a daughter, not a son. You said him, not her, but
Fuck.
Joke's on you.
Remember, 30 Minutes of Mayhem is available on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spreaker. All you have to do is search MayhewMayhem. That's MayhewMayhem. And make sure to rate us 5 stars.
You can also donate to 30 Minutes of Mayhem via PayPal to help us become a better show. Email address in the description, 30minutesofmayhem@gmail.com.
Dale, you remember how back when I first started doing videos very frequently on YouTube, I can credit Greg with that because he would say that he would watch my videos and then he would see a video that he didn't catch in his feed because I post so sporadically, and he was part of the main reason why I started posting every Wednesday so that people would know when the videos would come out. Well, sometimes I wouldn't have ideas of what I wanted to do, so I would just call you and fuck with you. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, so I would put these
He was
pictures...
talking to me, Greg.
I would put the pictures up, to symbolize the conversation, and when we would have retarded conversations. Do you remember one of the main things that I liked to bring up?
My family.
I like to bring your family up. Why did I like to bring your family up, Dale?
Because you knew it made me mad. And you liked fucking with me.
No. See, we have to be good friends, and you got a good family. They're good people. But I always like to either bring up your cousin, which failed epically with that because you were willing to give her away to the low
The sad part is that's true.
You were willing to give her away to the lowest.
Like, I give a fuck about my cousin.
You were willing to give her away to the lowest bidder, and you had no problems with that. But oh, God forbid, I said I wanted to marry your sister and become part of your family, because that sibling rivalry you had, you were jealous that I wanted to marry your sister and not you. So tell me, Dale, a story about your sibling rivalry.
Well, I mean, I don't know, how should I put this? I didn't really have a sibling rivalry with my sister, but I did kind of have one with my 2 cousins growing up that are around the same age as I am. But I remember one incident. It was me and my cousin Shannon. I don't think a day went by we didn't, for the most part. But we were outside. We were swimming around in the pool. It was the 3 of us, and I don't know what happened. As far as what went down to make us fight, this one incident for some odd reason just sticks as I still remember it to this day. But we were like yelling back and forth, wrestling around with each other in the pool, like very seriously, like pulling on each other's hair, because of course that's the first thing you go for when you're a kid, is pull hair, even biting, but I bit a lot, and I pull hair a lot.
And he still does.
Anyways,
on dicks.
But I remember him trying to like run away from me, and I had my towel in my hand. I got the end wet, and I just smacked the shit out of him as hard as I can on the back with the end that was wet. So I pretty much like popped him in the back and just left this giant welt on him right in the middle of his back. And of course I had trouble for that, but it was directly in the middle of the back, or like in between the shoulder blades where you can't reach to it very well.
Ooh.
Yeah, and like this was a towel. This wasn't a rag. This was a towel. And I didn't actually like wound it up.
Damn.
I didn't wound it up like I was gonna pop him like normally. I actually just had it in one hand and just popped him with it. I don't know how I did it. I just smacked him right in the middle of the back, and he was trying to run away, so of course he kind of turned to where his back was to me, and that's where I got him. And I've never heard somebody scream so loud in my life. And it's bad that I laugh.
I'm sure he laughs about it now, too.
If he even remembers, you know.
Now, my question for you is, can you imitate right now his scream?
Grab your
Attack
cocks
and
and
everything.
balls right now and just give us a good try at it.
Not gonna try.
Come
Not that
on.
good.
That sucked.
That
Yeah,
wasn't.
I don't have high pitched voice anymore like I used
I
to.
said grab your twig and berries and squeeze.
I
So,
don't. Mine's not gonna be very good, just like Dale's wasn't very good, but I.
dick.
I was raised by my grandparents, and my mother raised my brother and sister. So there was like, I guess you could say, a rivalry there. The fact that time I was actually around them, I felt like I was on the outside of it because they had a closer connection than what I did. So yeah, I kind of took it out on my brother, treated him like shit. One thing my brother has always done his entire life, and as of a couple years ago, he still does it, is he talks in his sleep. And I don't mean he just says a word here or there. The motherfucker will carry on a full conversation with himself in his sleep.
That's always fun.
And you have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Real quick, at the high school that Dale and I went to, and my brother went to it, I think just for his freshman year, maybe freshman and sophomore year, I can't remember. But just like Dale and I had to go through like these sex ed, not classes, but they were like almost like I'm gonna kind of call it a seminar more or less. But it would just be one class period, and they would come and talk to you about abstinence.
Come.
Oh God.
And they would have you do some exercises to where you would yell penis or vagina. They did not do that when Dale and I were there. They changed them and made it to where the whole class would yell penis at the same time or and vagina. Well, James, my brother, he was talking about that and he thought it was funny, yada yada. Well, one night when they were living here at the point in time, so my mom, my brother, and sister shared a room. My brother, he was sleeping, and my mom was laying there watching TV, and all of a sudden, NJ screamed penis in the middle of the night. It scared the shit out of my mom that was just sitting there watching TV in the dark, and he just screamed penis and scared the shit out of her. Now, so that's a funny story about him talking in his sleep. Now go back to when we were younger. I can't remember if my mom and dad were married at this point in time. I think they were, but my dad was still in the military. They were living in Alabama anyway. So I went there to visit them and my siblings. One night, while James and I were sharing a room while I was visiting James and my brother and I were sharing a room, and he was just talking away in his sleep, and I could not go to sleep because this motherfucker would not quit talking. He's just going on, and then he would stop. I'd be like, thank God. And then the motherfucker would start talking again, and I could not get to sleep. So I'm scouring around on the floor for something. I'm like, I gotta shut him the fuck up. Something. I gotta do something. I tried like moving him, and like maybe like people that snore, if they snore on their back but they don't snore on their side type thing. So I was like going on that theory. None of that worked. Finally, I found this box on the floor. So I stuff his sock in his mouth. I go back and I lay down, and I'm like, sweet silence, and I can hear him just talking into this sock that I had stuffed in his mouth. And finally, he works the sock out of his mouth, and the first thing that he says is he's talking to my mom in his sleep, and he says that the spaghetti tastes bad.
It's blasphemy. Spaghetti is awesome.
Oh, he was tasting the sock.
Mom,
I know,
spaghetti
I'm just
tastes
saying.
bad. That's like
The
this
spaghetti tastes horrible.
That's like this isn't part of my sibling rivalry thing, but it is something that happened with one of my siblings. It's like the time when we were on vacation in Philadelphia, and my brother Luke claimed that my brother Scott like was swearing in his sleep. Like he just kept like he was just laying there, and he heard Scott just keep going, shit, 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 like over and over again, and he couldn't figure out why.
And meanwhile, he was jerking off, and he was like, "Oh shit, oh shit."
Oh, shit.
Okay, well, the ones I'm gonna tell about are about my older brother Adam because when I was younger, he used to I wouldn't really say torture, but a tendency of like, roughhousing with me, like older brothers sometimes do with their younger brothers. And one of the things he would do is that he would tickle me, and
When you were in the
very
bathtub together, did he tickle you?
oh God. No, shut the fuck up.
Oh God, how'd you know?
He's like, oh God, how did he figure it out?
He would tickle me, and I would usually end up wetting my pants because he would usually end up doing it too hard, and I hated that because like it embarrassed the shit out of me, and I hated the way it felt. So actually, there were two times that I figured out a way to get out of
Peeing your
like
pants.
him. Yeah, of peeing my pants. One time, I was 4 years old. He was tickling me, and do you guys remember micro machines? Do you guys remember micro machines?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I friggin' loved micro machines. I had a bunch of them. And there was this one micro machine that I really, really liked, and I carried it around everywhere with me because, I was 4, like, you do that sort of shit. I was carrying it around, and he was tickling me, and I didn't want to, and I was getting fed up. So eventually, like, as he was halfway through doing it, I was like, "Oh no, I dropped it. I can't find my Hummer." And he was like, "Oh jeez," and he stops and he begins looking through all the blankets because this was in my bedroom, and he was looking around, and he was just like, "Greg, I can't find it anywhere. Where is it?" And he turns, and I'm in the doorway, and I just go, "It's right here," and run off.
Like the fucking girl from Poltergeist. They're here. Like
But
all creepy, and then you run off.
the other time, and this one's even funnier. It was like a year or two later, and he was doing it to me again, and he was on the floor, and I got up, and he was beginning to get up, and I knew he was going to continue tickling me. So, like, the only thing that I could think of to defend myself was as he was getting up, and I'm not kidding you, I turned around, closed around, and I farted right in his face.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh God!" and he like fell back over.
Now, when you go visit him nowadays, does he still tickle you, or is that
Oh God, no! That'd be horrifying.
Would you
For
punch?
like so many reasons that I don't want to go into right now.
Would you punch his eyes until he couldn't see?
Probably.
The best way to get out of getting tickled by somebody of the same sex is to just get naked.
Right?
It's the same.
No dude wants to tickle.
Okay, look, 4 years old at the time. Okay, and then
hey,
6.
listen,
I don't know.
It's the best way to get out. It's the best way to get out of a fight. If you don't want to fight somebody, just take your pants off.
Nobody wants to fight the naked guy.
No, nobody wants to fight the dude with his dick flopping around. So no one as a guy wants to tickle another dude if his dick's flopping around.
Next time you see your brother Adam and he tries to tickle you, just remember that.
Just get naked.
He doesn't tickle me anymore, you guys. God, this is why I should never trust sensitive information.
Look, dude, we just want you to be prepared.
Greg will be thinking about it next time he goes to visit, and his brother will go to just touch him to put his hand on his shoulder or something, and Greg will immediately just drop his pants and be like, "You're not tickling me, motherfucker."
Adam will be like, will you pass me the ketchup? And Greg will just get up and rip his clothes off like, "Come on, bitch!"
How dare you?
I have a couple of stories. They're not as good as Greg's at all, but
or Mike's. I mean, Jesus Christ, Mike's was
freaking
hilarious.
I could have
penis.
I could have killed my brother by stuffing a sock in his mouth.
I was just thinking that. I didn't want to say anything.
No, Mom, spaghetti tastes bad. Anyway, go ahead, Raven. I'm sorry. I keep stealing your thunder.
It's cool. I don't have any thunder.
Damn it.
When I was in like middle school, I was trying out for the flag corps. You know what that is, with the flags and the girls twirl them around and shit. Well, I had a practice flag, and it was made out of titanium.
The girls that aren't good enough to be cheerleaders, right?
Right, that's me. I didn't even make it for flag corps. How sad is that?
I didn't make it
anyway.
God damn it, Dale.
See, the problem
is why we get anywhere.
It's not
what?
It's not that Dale wasn't good enough. It's just that he wasn't strong enough to lift the big old beastas that were on our flag corps and our cheerleading squads.
I'm strong enough now.
Big enough.
I'm strong enough now, but they won't let me in their high school anymore or anywhere near it.
You think you could lift some of the girls that were in drill team and some of the cheerleaders?
Yeah, probably.
I just know about the cheerleaders. The only small ones were the ones
The cheerleaders
that they
had
would
big
throw.
girls. The drill team did not.
Well, yeah, but the cheerleaders, the only small girls were the ones that they like threw up in the air.
Of course.
And I remember that I was sitting like right in front of the cheerleaders, like halfway up the bleachers at this game. So they throw this girl up, and she does like what are them kicks called? To where you like the legs, like the split kicks, more or less, to where the legs go out on either side and the hands touch the toes while they're in the air. You know what I'm talking?
Touch?
Yeah, toe touch, dude. So they throw.
Where they touch their toes? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there could be more than one thing, you putz. So they throw her up in the air, and she does this toe touch, right? Well, she does the spread leg, and her built-in underwear are being eaten by her vag. So she's got like the most hardcore camel toe I've ever seen. To where literally it is like the underwear is coming down, hits the top of her vag, goes inside to where like you see lips on either side, but you don't see the underwear in the middle. And then where like the vag ends and it starts to go down by her taint asshole areas where the underwear comes back out. And I could not quit laughing. It was like 10 feet in front of me, but it was clear. It was clear as day. I was like, "Holy shit, her pussy is hungry."
And don't let Dan lie, he didn't make it because his pole was too small. But my pole was big enough. My pole was made out of titanium, which is kind of, it was like hollow, but it's hard. So I'm in our backyard and I'm practicing and I'm flipping it off, and my brother is just dicking around and like dancing around me, and like I have to keep stopping my practice so that I don't hit him. And eventually I just got tired of it. And he had something in his hand, and he wanted to like sword fight. He had a big dick in his hand, and he was trying to sword fight me. Pissed. I got pissed.
Hang on. Whoa. You say he had a big dick in his hand and he was trying to sword fight you, and then he took a piss?
What just happened?
Well, see, hang on a minute. You were talking about a long, hard pole that's hollowed out. You were talking about your brother dicking around, and then he had a big stick.
And then something
in his
about
hand,
taking a
that
piss.
He wanted to sword fight.
Sword fighting.
And then take a piss. So you tell me what's going on.
Yeah, I'm confused as shit. I'm like, God damn, I know you're that close to West Virginia, but for fuck's sake, you're on the wrong side of the river.
Y'all are bastards.
Breathe, Greg. Breathe.
Oh my God.
I'm hanging up.
Oh, come on. Don't be a poor sport like Dale.
Anyway, we were children, and he had a stick in his hand, and he was like swinging it at me. And I was pissed already because I was trying to practice and he was getting in my way. So I just, instead of like playing at sword fighting, I just took my pole and smacked him in the hand and almost broke his finger.
Ooh. Oh man, that is
almost did.
You almost did, or you did break his finger?
I did break his finger. I almost broke 2 fingers, but I did break one.
Oh my God, man! Everybody else's stories were hilarious. Raven, that's just depraved.
I'm vicious.
Yes, you are. You are vicious. He's breaking your brother's finger. Jeez.
How old were you?
So yeah, how old were you guys?
School. I was like in 7th grade or 8th grade. It was like middle school flag court.
So how
30 years ago?
How old was he?
Oh, you funny. Har.
How old was he?
Well, he's 3 years younger than me. So if I was 15, he was 12.
And which hand did you break the finger on?
It would be his right hand, and it was his middle finger that I broke, and the other one, the ring finger beside it, that almost broke.
Okay, so he's right-handed. You broke some fingers on his right hand, and he's just in that time period of his life to where he's starting to discover himself. So you ruined that whole thing for him.
Not really, because he still had another hand.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I mean, your left hand isn't lame.
No, but it's not as easy to do with your.
Exactly.
I can do it with both hands.
Well,
it's weird.
Your instrument is different from our instrument.
I was gonna say, you take a whole another approach.
I'm right-handed, but I normally use my left hand to do it. I don't know why.
Did your brother break your right-handed fingers too?
Have you ever had a broken hand at all at any point in your life and had to switch hit?
No, I've actually never had any broken bones in my life. I don't know how I have been able to go my entire life without breaking any bones of my body or anything, but probably because I don't go outside, but I have never, ever had any. I used to do it when we had like an actual computer before I got my laptop, and I would have to keep the mouse in my right hand and like so that on my left hand free. I had to make sure I had my hand on the mouse at all times because if somebody like came into the if my parents ever came back and I was in the middle of something, I'd have to like quickly like close the window and zip my pants back up.
So as soon as your parents came home, you came.
So,
Oh God, thank God that never happened. Honey, we're home. Okay.
Welcome.
so
Hi.
my
This
question
is
is,
awkward.
which would you be more concerned about if, like, say, worst case scenario happens, they walk in, but they have not seen anything yet. We're worried about having your dick out or the porn on the screen.
I would close the
Put your tallywhacker away and blame it on Scott.
yeah,
I just came
say,
into the
I
room
just
and I
got
swear this
on
was
and
on.
this was on there. Somebody logged on. But no, I'd probably close the page, and then if they asked me why my wiener was out, I'd probably just say I had to scratch it and like my pants were too.
Yeah, they'll buy that.
So, Dale, same question to you.
I'd close the windows.
You'd
Because like I'd definitely shove off because I can always throw like something like a dirty shirt or any type of piece of clothing like real quick. I'd be like, bloop.
Okay,
Yeah,
Raven. Same question to you. Which one do you do?
I'd take my hand out of my pants. That's what I would do.
So
First.
you'd leave the porn on the screen, take your hand out of your pants.
Yeah. And then I'll blame it on her. What the fuck is this on my computer?
Stacker.
That
Mommy, it was me.
that's
I don't even know what's going on. Why are those two people hugging like that?
Mommy, what's that?
That's called double penetration, honey.
Oh, rubbing lizard bellies.
I wasn't even thinking of that. Oh my God.
Honey,
be
this
more
right
worried.
here is your hymen.
And
Honey.
how would you know that,
Dale
Dale?
ever
You
asked
learned
you.
that a couple of weeks ago.
Hey, I know.
Honey, this is how you were created.
Almost.
You remember how I told you it
It
was the
was way
stork?
brief.
See, I thought my joke was so much better than everybody else's because
Not.
like the reception of it wasn't as good because we're talking about DP and stuff, and then that's when your child sees a double penetration going on, and you tell her that's how she was created. That's so scarring.
Yeah, because then she's gonna think that she's gonna need two guys in order to make one baby.
Kind of fucked up, man.
Exactly. You turn your daughter into a whore. What the fuck's wrong with you, Raven?
I'm calling child services on your ass.
My answer
Oh,
to the question that I asked would be I'm definitely more concerned about my junk. That is like priority number one. We got breaking news coming in from Salt Lake City, Utah. Let's take it away, Ryan, from the headlines.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Okay. All right. This is Dale standing in for Ryan. There's a situation right now going on. Where screaming "get a room" should not just be a suggestion. Apparently, there's a couple in Salt Lake City that were just caught engaging in oral sex in a place you would least expect it.
Oh, come on. It was just oral sex. They weren't ram jamming. There was no plowing. He wasn't putting his dick in her butt.
I mean, I'm not done yet. I just got
Okay,
got this
so
thing.
was he ram jamming
They were getting.
Was he ram jamming her pooper or not? That's what I want to know.
As of right now, they were caught engaging in oral sex.
Who hasn't had oral sex in a church?
So whether he was eating a muffin or she was sucking down a banana, no. But not only were they performing X-rated acts, happened during a wedding.
Yes. Do you take this woman to be your bride? Then you hear I can't make a dick sucking sound in the background. But
Raven, where are you? We need you to make a dick sucking sound right now.
Or you, Dale.
I think you'd be better at it than me, Dale.
I don't know. think we should have
Yeah.
a competition. Anyway, wait. In the early evening, a person who was 56-year-old reportedly was, in quotations, going down on a 60-year-old. Oh, the dude was going down on her.
What?
And they're old.
Yeah.
Well, I was sitting there thinking, if she was going down on him, it takes us back to the beginning. And the first thing we said, he probably took some Viagra or some Cialis when somebody came there to answer the fucking door. He tried to watch some porn. He's older, so his dick didn't exactly get erect right away. So he said, fuck it, we got to go to church. He ends up at church at this wedding, this goddamn Mormon wedding he ends up at because they talked to him for old, so he didn't really have anybody to hang out with. So he ends up at this Mormon wedding that happens that day when they came in and visited him. And now, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, his dick's all fucking hard, and he's like, dude, I gotta do something about this, but he's like, I can't just sit here and jerk off. And then all of a sudden, the lady next to him realizes he has this huge boner, and she happens to be older too. She's like, you know what? I'll suck you off. So she does. But I was wrong. It turns out that dude is down there getting a face full of old, curly, gray puss.
You should see these two and how they look.
Well, then, this just... It brings up the question of this.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh dear God, what the hell?
Yeah, you know what? That was probably what she was screaming out in that church. But,
Oh my God, they're ugly as shit.
So
apparently they were, if you read down, apparently they were, well, they ignored the cops.
So my thing is, oh my God, would you eat some old puss in a church?
No.
Oh fuck no.
Would you eat puss in a church? Period.
Depends on the girl.
Oh, eat puss in a church?
Maybe.
Would you let somebody go down on you in a church?
Well, fuck yeah, I'd let someone do that anywhere.
Dale.
I knew that.
So, I'd eat puss.
Well, good for them. I mean, they're both fugly, and not one of the four of us are getting any, so.
Touche. What the fuck else am I supposed to say?
I have nothing for that.
Oh my God. So, the thing.
Fucking right.
Oh my God. They ram jammed. I wonder. No, they didn't ram jam. No ram jam.
Just says oral sex.
I wonder, like, what was he like? He was in the pew, and he was like sitting on the floor in front of her, and like had his feet underneath the pew out the backside, and he was just like. I mean, like.
I don't know how I got a kick out of that.
What, have you never ate puss that way before? You've never, like, she's sitting in a chair or somewhere or whatever, and or like standing, and you're like, crouched. And you got like your arms are like between her legs, but you're holding on to maybe like her ass or something, and you're just getting at it.
I don't go rah, 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 rah.
Well, I'm not saying maybe you don't make them exact sounds, but I don't know what's down there because it's just a mystery. But whatever. The pussy is such a complicated thing.
I think we pulled off a pretty damn good episode, if I do say so myself.
I wouldn't take it that far, but I would say it was all right.
I said pretty damn good episode. Pretty, as in not really good, but not terrible either.
I wouldn't even say pretty damn good. I just said pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said pretty good. I didn't say pretty
Oh my God, it was fine. Can we move on?
Yeah, I'm fucking starving.
Fighting like a bunch of girls.
I want to go
Listen to
eat.
this one over here, bleeding out, just being a bitch to everybody. What the fuck? And that does it for this episode of 30 Minutes of Mayhem. I have been your host. My name is Michael Mayhew, and I have been here with my co-hosts,
Greg,
Raven,
And Dale.
Don't forget to check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker. Rate us 5 stars. Leave a little comment there. That helps us out a lot. Donate to us on PayPal. That's it, right? Yeah, that's everything. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and later, fellas.